And welcome to an amazing scene inside the Sewell Center. They have been lined up since the early parts of the afternoon to get a coveted seat to watch the winningest program in the history of college basketball come to this barely over 3,000 seat gym as Kentucky and Robert Morris will open up the NIT. Now the Wildcats are the #1 overall seed, and their reward, well, they've got Rupp Arena preparing for games later this week. So Kentucky technically is the home team that has to go on the road to take on Robert Morris, but it gives us this atmosphere, and it is terrific. The rest of the games in our portion of the bracket will be played tomorrow night. If Kentucky wins, they'll go back to Rupp to face either Charlotte or Providence. Derek Polson one-on-one, gets to the baseline, bounces it through traffic, gets a return, and finally Kentucky, nearly 5 minutes in, is on the board.
You know what I like about Jared Polson? He checks in, he's not afraid of the moment.
And John Hood has come on for the first time. Shot clock at 8. Polson drives it again, flips it up and scores. So all 4 points for the Wildcats to Jared Polson.
They're going to advance in this opening round of the NIT.
Poitras able to recover and stuff it home. A friendly bounce as it looked like Russell Johnson had a steal. We walked out of the shoot-around today, and on our way out the door, especially after we saw Robert Morris, you raised your eyebrows, said, you know what, there's a pretty good chance Kentucky might be in some trouble tonight. King of the junior prom back in 1977, and he actually said that you could, from certain spots, Allison toughness has been an issue at times with certain players this year that John Calipari has questioned, although that time Willie Cauley-Stein.
Trouble. John Calipari having to push all the buttons, and no team wants to have to break off and play dodgeball late in March. That's not where you want to be as a squad.
Poitras way short from the corner. Offensive rebound. Cauley-Stein able to put it home.
Well, he needs to become the guy. He's 7 feet tall. Robert Morris is a club that wants to front the post. He should get a ton of touches in this game. When Nerlens Noel went down with that knee injury, Willie Cauley-Stein was thrown into a position that he really wasn't ready for. But he is.
Polson up to Cauley-Stein. Terrific setup as the junior finds the freshman.
Again, Jared Polson now for the second time has driven the ball baseline with a purpose. Nice vision, a nice feel for where 15 and white's going to be right in front.
Morris, 9 points now for Russell Johnson. Wilcher gives it up, and the baseline free for Archie Goodwin.
That was a good pass by Wilcher, the right pass to make, not the extra pass. This thing Archie Goodwin does is attack off of one bounce with his right hand. He covers a lot of space with a big first step.
Mays drives it, finds a backdoor cutter in Polson. Or check that Hood.
Willie Cauley-Stein, he pops. Mays reads, what does a pop do? It cleared out a baseline drive, and then Hood filled in from behind. If Willie Cauley-Stein doesn't pop and create that angle, then ultimately John Hood.
It's a 5-on-4. The extra pass underneath. But cleaning up was Poitras. He was the late man back and got the block. This is a lot of offense, but they certainly lose depth.
But Willie Cauley-Stein has to play like a 7-footer in this game if Kentucky is going to advance. He has to.
Line drive jumper is good for Archie Goodwin, and it's a 1-point game again. Mays down the lane, lost it, found it again, gets trapped under the backboard, and has to play up top to Goodwin. Archie Goodwin, floating left, shoots back to the right, and he's got 12.
All night long, even when Kentucky would, cut it down to 2 points, you just like they're holding on.
Poitras inside. This time Lucky Jones tries a flop, and Poitras is able to lay it in.
A little bit of advantage and drive right through Goodwin. Then not rotating over again hurts Kentucky.
Terrific play, though, by Polson. The spin through traffic, and the lead for Poitras. Poitras out of a double team. Finally, Cauley-Stein able to take advantage.
Good job by Poitras to catch the basketball, knowing that Robert Morris has been doubling that low block. Skyforce or the Fort Wayne Mad Ants staying in hotel rooms that have outside doors. And that's not what you want. You're better off playing for Kentucky in his recruiting process. This is a great example of it tonight. Kentucky's not for everyone because you go on the road in the NIT, the building's rocking. There's a lot of heat in the building for a year. They have not backed down from Kentucky's, the name on the front of the jersey, for 1 second.
Knocking down a three, though, from the corner is Julius Mays. What a time for Mays to pick up his first field goal of the night.
Kentucky fortunate, though. Wilcher got buried in the lane, gave up an open three.
Cauley-Stein sets up Wilcher. He'll float one off the window. Gets it to roll home. The Wildcats putting together a run. They're down by 4.
It all started with Julius Mays off of the nice bounce pass by Polson out on the perimeter. Very well thrown pass, and then Willie Cauley-Stein gives it up on the right.
Calipari's life happening right here in this neighborhood. This hasn't been a good memory so far, but they're trying to turn it around. Archie Goodwin hammered. That's an intentional foul. And Goodwin's angry. Lucky Jones hammered Archie Goodwin. Did he make a play on the ball? It was a violent play at that, and it was immediately signaled by Gary Prager to be a flagrant foul. Mays floats one and just coming up short. Trying to take the lead was Cauley-Stein, but the second effort by Archie Goodwin on the putback. And we are tied at 53. Robert Morris, the lead back.
Watch Archie Goodwin come in and, again, just make a dirty basket, a tough basket, a have-to basket. Driven the ball with success.
Elton Jones has Cauley-Stein caught on a switch. Size mismatch underneath. A little head fake. He goes right around him. Yep. Gets it up for the dunk to Mike McFadden.
They isolated and drove the ball with success. That's what they've done the entire second half. They go to it one more time.
Cauley-Stein answers. And it's a two-point game again. 90 seconds to go. And set things up with Myers-Pate. And now Belton Jones takes over with 10 to shoot. Lost the dribble. Saves it in no man's land, but they'll say he stepped on the end line first.
How about that? Robert Morris was going to go with an isolation and a baseline drive. That's for Kentucky.
Archie Goodwin leans in here and ties the game.
Archie Goodwin driving the ball is what Kentucky's doing best. It's on that shot clock with the ball being out of bounds over there in the corner in front of the water cooler.
Elton Jones throws it in with 5 seconds to shoot.
I don't like the angle for Poitras.
A block inside by Cauley-Stein. The follow won't go for Mike McFadden, but he draws the foul. 8.7 seconds to go. He replaced Lucky Jones after the flagrant 2 knocked Lucky Jones out of the game. Robert Morris is back on top. Will John Calipari spend a timeout?
Where's Archie Goodwin in all this action?
Mays gives it up. Wilcher for 3. Off the heel. No good. It's over. Robert Morris has beaten Kentucky.
Hold on, partner. Just hold on.